showed up for the last day of rehearsal and I was super depressed, and the lessons and the stories I take from that, there's no price.
Jessica Chastain has accused Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds of taking over her lead role in Black Dove, claiming she had already filmed scenes weeks earlier. According to Chastain, Netflix buried her footage.
That's it. I've never had that experience on a set.
Now the internet is in chaos, and Blake Lively is catching heat for turning someone else's raw, emotional performance into a red carpet spectacle. Word is, Jessica Chastain was fully locked into Black Dove until someone with more clout came in and rewrote the story, both on the page and behind the scenes. Let's get one thing straight. In Hollywood, roles aren't handed out with a smile. They're clawed through sabotage. That's the real casting process now. And Jessica? She made it through. She survived the politicking, the pressure, the quiet power plays, until someone decided glitter mattered more than grit and pushed her out of her own film. Jessica Chastain didn't just star in Black Dove, she built it. Over the course of a full year, she crafted the project from the ground up. She didn't just read a script, she shaped it. She created mood boards, mapped out emotional trauma arcs, collaborated with the director, and left her imprint on every single creative document. This wasn't just another role, it was hers, until it wasn't.
Because the couple weeks it's like the energy, it was like filtering in my pores. I was starting to feel this and she could see immediately when I came in that I just wasn't feeling good, that I was kind of sad.
Where was Blake Lively during all of this? Nowhere. She wasn't part of the original conversation, didn't audition, didn't help develop or pitch the project. Yet somehow, out of nowhere, she strolls in like the studio had been waiting on her the entire time. Really? Because the only thing Blake had going for her was a husband with a pitch deck and a bad habit of calling other women too serious for his marketing ideas.
It's devastating, and I'm just so grateful to Variety and Karma and everybody here to be shining light on this issue.
Let's talk about Ryan Reynolds for a second. He literally pitched Blake as the cleaner cell, actually saying Jessica was too prestige and too serious. I'm sorry, what kind of clown logic is that? Jessica is an Oscar-winning actress, with real range, intensity, and depth. But I guess that's a little too threatening when your wife is mostly known for swinging handbags and blowing kisses on red carpets.
You could see immediately when I came in that I just wasn't feeling good, that I was kind of sad. I never said I don't want to work today.
And it gets worse. This wasn't just a shady recast, it was a full-on hit job on everything Jessica had built. When Blake showed up, it wasn't just with her over-processed hair and recycled Instagram poses. She came armed with a Ryan-backed rewrite, and let me tell you, it was the dumbest downgrade imaginable. They took a script about trauma and survival and turned it into a glorified perfume commercial. Jessica was supposedly too serious for a thriller, yet Blake brought fashion show energy to every single frame. Make it make sense. Jessica had already done rehearsals, shot test footage, and filmed 6 weeks before Blake was even part of the conversation. Let that sink in. Director Isabelle Fontaine confirmed it. The film's entire look, tone, and wardrobe were built around Jessica. It was her project. Then Blake walks in, and suddenly the PTSD-driven storyline gets gutted and replaced with something called elevated danger. I mean, really, elevated danger? Is that just code for add more dresses and rooftop scenes?
I realized this past year I've had to be careful and take more of a break between films.
They didn't just rewrite the film, they vacuumed out the emotion and replaced it with Euroglam fluff, because apparently nothing says emotional depth like sunglasses and cobblestones. A story rooted in internal rage and betrayal got a soft, shiny makeover, and Ryan had the audacity to defend it by saying, "She's Blake, she can pull anything off, except maybe a decent monologue or a character with an actual soul." And you'd think it would end there, right? Wrong. Because Blake and Ryan's little sabotage mission didn't stop at snatching the role, they launched a full-blown campaign to erase Jessica from her own narrative. After Blake's little can stunt, and don't worry, we'll get to that in the next section, Netflix mysteriously began canceling everything Jessica had lined up. Her press tour disappeared, her Tonight Show appearance was suddenly postponed, and her Variety photo shoot was dropped due to stylistic redundancy. Sounds fake, but okay.
It takes a lot out of you sometimes, and you have to have space to then fill up again, you know?
And then comes the real tea, a leaked Slack message, and what does it say? Kill the Chastain rollout. Ryan's team flagged a confusion concern. A confusion concern? Seriously? The only confusing thing here is why Netflix thought replacing raw, visceral talent with red carpet cosplay was a smart move. But it doesn't stop there. Jessica had already filmed a pivotal scene. Not just any scene, but a raw, stripped-down monologue in a warehouse, barefoot and without makeup. She delivered the line, "If I die here, no one will ask who buried me, they'll ask who dressed me." Tell me that's not chilling. Tell me that's not powerful. But Blake's team buried it. Didn't want it out. Too real, too good, too threatening to the girl who thinks acting is just about making dramatic faces in designer coats.
I think it's because we underestimate sometimes how much when you're playing a character you give of yourself.
But guess what? That clip leaked anyway, through a private Vimeo link. No branding, no logo, just raw, unfiltered footage of a woman acting circles around every watered-down version they tried to pass off in her place. And when people saw it, the reaction was immediate. "Netflix, you good? We lost the real Black Dove," one fan wrote. And honestly, they said it best. Here's the brutal truth. Blake Lively didn't just take a role. She took the performance, the preparation, the story, and the soul of the film, without ever putting in the work. She didn't fight for this project, didn't help shape it. She just walked in with a polished brand and her husband's PR machine, and everyone pretended. That was enough. Jessica wasn't simply replaced, she was erased. But here's the thing about trying to erase a woman like her. You can't. Because when the dust settles and the glitter fades, the one still standing isn't the girl who copied the script and wore someone else's dress. It's the one who built it from the ground up and never backed down.
And the lessons and the stories I take from that, there's no price. It's beyond.
And that, right there, is what makes this entire fiasco so foul. They didn't just take Jessica Chastain's role, they tried to take her legacy. Blake Lively isn't a rising star, she's a Hollywood parasite in couture. Think stealing the role was the end of it? Please, that was just the warm-up. When Blake hijacks a performance, she doesn't stop at the script. She goes full single white female mode, and I don't say that lightly. This was identity theft so blatant it practically needed a mugshot. Let's talk about Cannes, the moment it stopped being subtle. Blake strutted down the red carpet in Jessica's exact 2022 look. Same crimson lipstick, same old Hollywood waves, same minimalist gown, same event. Not inspired by, identical. Side-by-sides flooded the internet, and headlines asked if Blake had raided Jessica's closet, but it didn't stop at the clothes. Days later, Blake dropped a quote on a podcast, "You don't chase the moment, you let it find you," word for word stolen from a 2021 Vanity Fair reel with Jessica. No paraphrasing, no coincidence. Fans dragged her, and her PR team had the nerve to call it an homage. Homage? That's lighting a candle, not stealing someone's personal philosophy while wearing their lipstick. The internet wasn't fooled. Blake didn't do the groundwork, didn't pay dues. She just took what she wanted. Comments called it what it was: narcissism with lipstick, celebrity plagiarism. One post nailed it. "If Blake Lively gets any closer to becoming Jessica Chastain, we'll need a DNA test." Jessica stayed silent, but her stylist fired the perfect shot. A cryptic IG story of the original Black Dove mood board with Jessica's handwriting in the corner. She doesn't play roles, she shapes them. And just when it couldn't get messier, Ruth Wilson delivered the mic drop. She'd turned down an early Black Dove draft years ago, but a resurfaced 2020 clip showed her recalling a producer's words. "It's okay. We'll Blake it up a bit. You'll see it at the Globes." That's not a compliment. That's code for dumbing it down, glam it up, make it viral and hollow. "Blake it up" instantly became a Hollywood insult. Twitter lit up, Reddit connected dots. Blake doesn't add depth, she replaces it with cheekbones and cocktail dresses. Proof? Just compare scripts. Jessica's version was about a grieving woman uncovering a surveillance network designed to erase women. Gritty, raw, powerful. Blake's version? A glamorous archivist in a Euro spy cat-and-mouse chase. That's not a thriller, that's a perfume ad with a plot twist. One fan put it best. This isn't a rewrite, it's identity theft with contour. But Jessica wasn't done. On May 7th, her team quietly dropped a 94-second silent nuke. No promo, no press, just Jessica, barefaced under a dim light, staring into the camera and calmly delivering one line. They didn't take my role, they took the credit, but the performance stays in the blood. It wasn't loud, it wasn't messy, it was controlled fury. 3 journalists got the link. One tweeted immediately after, Jessica Chastain just taught Netflix and Blake Lively what power looks like. And he wasn't wrong. 20 minutes later, Netflix glitched. Or did it? Blake's face vanished from Black Dove's landing page, replaced by a static image of a bleeding dove. White feathers, red stain, no names. Was it a bug? Sabotage? Karma? No one knows, but someone screen recorded it, and the damage was done. What have we learned? Blake Lively didn't just want a role. She wanted the identity, the quotes, the wardrobe, the audience, the awards season buzz, everything Jessica spent years building. She wanted to wear it, post it, perform it, and pretend it was hers. And when called out, her team didn't apologize. They rebranded it Homage, creative reinterpretation. Please, if you want to honor a woman's work, start by not bulldozing her out of it. Jessica didn't rant, didn't post captions. She let Blake dig her own glittery grave, then calmly handed her the shovel. Because here's the truth. You can dress like Jessica, talk like Jessica, even steal her script, but at the end of the day, you're still just Blake Lively playing dress up. And the internet? They see it. They always do.